getting out of the bubble, so to speak. The WNBA has continued with positive momentum. I think Caitlin Clark will choose the WNBA and the longevity of her career in the WNBA, but what an outstanding opportunity it is. I think it's really incredible, not just the offers that she's getting from multiple avenues, but the momentum that women's basketball has gotten. I didn't have the benefit of the momentum that women's basketball has gained. And I think that this class in particular, this time for women's sports and women's basketball, it's just been the perfect storm. And
did you hear what Stephanie White said about Caitlin Clark? It's so wild. People think she might be exaggerating, but is she? White's been following Clark since she was in 8th grade. Now, as her coach, she's saying things that are changing how people see women's basketball. What if Clark is really as good as White says? How would that change the WNBA? Let's talk about what Stephanie White thought of Caitlin Clark at first. What's really strange? White used to think Clark was just another rookie who got too much attention. Yeah, she's good, but can she handle the pros? She asked after seeing her school play. White didn't believe all the talk. Then something crazy took place. Clark played her first game in the WNBA, and bam! White's jaw dropped. Just picture this. Clark is nervous, but then she starts to play. Plus, it's like seeing a different player. White is watching from the sidelines, and with each play, you can see her eyes getting bigger. Clark is out there giving out assists like candy, making baskets from strange angles, and grabbing rebounds all over the place. It's like she turned into a pro overnight by flipping a switch. White is shocked by what she sees. She's already changed her mind by halftime.
This is who she is. I mean, she's one of the most elite competitors I've ever been around. And the only other competitor that I can compare her to is Tamika Catchings.
They make quicker reads and play with a lot more rhythm, better timing, and multiple weapons on the floor. I mean, and it's a team that's playing with a lot of confidence.
The way that she approaches the game, her professionalism. It was big. It was exciting. It was one of the most exciting things for me that I wanted to happen tonight.
This kid is something special, she tells everyone who will listen. What do you know? That's just the beginning. In just one game, White goes from being Clark's biggest to doubting him. It's like Clark put a spell on her. White has an amazed look on her face as she watches every move, pass, and shot. But wait, things get stranger still. When White talks about Clark after the game, she almost shines. She's bragging about how nice she is as a leader and how good she is at seeing the court. She seems to be unable to speak quickly enough. White says things like, "That's the best rookie play I've ever seen." She has the poise of an old pro. What's crazy about that? White even says she was wrong about Clark. She's telling reporters, "I didn't think much of her. This girl is the real deal." It's like Clark beat all of White's doubts in one game. Now, White has already begun to think about how to put Clark at the center of the team. She can see what will happen with the Fever in the future, and Caitlin Clark is in it. White is now sure about Clark. Not a big deal, right? Not right. What came next will blow your mind. Remember how I said White was thinking about putting Clark at the center of the team? She's no longer just thinking, though. She talks about Clark as if she were the next big thing in basketball. And what she was saying, they are altering everything. What's really strange? White doesn't just praise Clark, she shouts it from the rooftops. She says that she is a generational talent. That's not even half of it, though. White is saying that Clark is like some of the best players of all time. This is the same level of praise as Diana Taurasi or Sue Bird. Do you believe it? That being said, White isn't just talking about Clark's goals. She's going on and on about her court vision, her passing, and how she leads. White can't stop gushing about how great Clark is. Do you remember what White said? She told him, "Caitlin is great for all of basketball, not just women's basketball. She's not just points." That's really big. Picture this. White gives a speech to the press and then drops a bomb. Clark's game, she says, is changing the face of women's basketball.
He's away, and we'll be locked in the whole way through. Here are the first-round matchups. Liberty versus the Dream, Lynx versus the Mercury, Sun Fever in the 4-5 matchup, the Aces versus the Storm. But how about the Fever?
I feel like it's a great accomplishment, but there's so much more left to be done. Yeah, we made the playoffs. There's 6 regular season games.
Yeah, they're a very dangerous team coming into this postseason. They always tell you that the team that you want to watch out for are the teams that get hot at the right time.
A coach is saying that a rookie is changing the whole sport, so it's not just words. What's crazy about that? White's words aren't just empty talk. It's backed up by numbers, which break down Clark's gameplay by play. Do you wish to know how good Clark is? In her first season, she broke 62 records. 62! Not only is that good, it's crazy. This is all being watched by White, who is seeing something very interesting. It's about Clark's ability to get better and change. Clark keeps getting better, she says, and her work ethic is through the roof. There are more people who see it than just White. The other teams in the league are also paying attention. It's a race for coaches to figure out how to stop Clark. Other players are looking at her to see what she does. But White? She's only just beginning. What she says next about Clark's future will shock you. As everyone else tries to figure out how to stop Clark, White is busy making something very important. She's not just complimenting Clark anymore. She's changing the whole team to fit her needs. What's really strange? Since one player has left, the Fever are beginning to look like a totally different team. The Fever team is being hurt by Clark. Let's talk about it. She's changing more than just her game. She's making everyone better. White is noticing something interesting about Clark as she practices. Clark doesn't just score. She also helps those around her do better. Picture this. Clark is making her teammates crazy with her no-look passes. But what do you know? They are beginning to understand. And White? She loves every minute of it. According to the reporters, Clark's basketball IQ is off the charts. Now, though, things get really interesting. White starts to change the Fever's whole plan so that Clark can help them win. She looked at Clark and thought, "We have a secret weapon. Let's use it." The Fever are playing a whole new style of basketball all of a sudden. Quick, fluid, and hard to predict. It's like they switched from chess to checkers, with Clark as the queen. It's hard for other teams to keep up. White is sitting there and watching with a big grin on her face, as if she knows something that no one else does. What's really crazy? White is thrilled about the whole team, not just Clark. She's talking about how happy and relaxed the players are as they find their groove. Clark's excitement seems to have spread to the rest of the team. The interesting thing is that White isn't just interested in Clark. She is thinking about how to get the most out of each player. Clark is like a bright star, and White is like the one who figures out how to make the whole galaxy shine. It's because Clark has changed the game that she sees a team where everyone is playing at their best. And just when you think things can't get any better, White drops this important secret about Clark. Clark is only scratching the surface, she says. Do you really believe that? White says there's more to come after what we've seen so far. When you watch the first episode of your new favorite show and find out there are 10 more seasons to come, it's terrible. The fun is just getting started. You think Clark is great now? White has a crazy plan for the next 5 years. Clark is more than just a great player to her. She sees her as the start of something legendary. Could I tell you that White thinks Clark's current performance is only the beginning? Let's talk about what White wants the Fever to be. Not just next season is on her mind. Not at all. She's making plans for the next 5 years, and you can guess who's at the center of things? Yes, that's Caitlin Clark. White isn't just putting together a team, she's making a dynasty. What about Clark? She is the most important part of everything. Picture this. White is in her office, which is full of whiteboards and player stats. She doesn't just think about wins and losses. Not at all. She has bigger plans. She's talking about how Clark changed the team's whole way of working. Clark isn't just a player. She's a revolution in a Fever uniform. It gets even stranger than that. White is already thinking about how to put together the best team for Clark. The players she wants to hire can keep up with Clark's style. She's putting together a puzzle, and Clark is the most important piece. White is even happy about the young players they already have. When she talks about players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, she says they have a lot of potential. The strangest thing is that White says Clark is only beginning to reach her full potential. Do you really believe that? White says there's more to come after everything we've seen so far. It's like seeing a superhero movie and finding out that the hero is still getting used to their powers. White isn't just dreaming. She knows what will happen. It sounds like she's talking about records going down, championships coming up, and Clark becoming the WNBA's face. It's also not just talk. White knows how to make it happen. She is working on Clark's defense, shot selection, and ability to lead. Her work is like taking a great player and making her famous. What do you know? With the way Clark is playing and White coaching her, it's beginning to look like a real chance. White's return to the Fever is more than just a change in coaching. It's a new era in basketball. She has experience and a plan, and now she has Clark. It feels like seeing the beginning of something big. The league should be careful, because the Fever are coming and they're going to bring the heat. That's all there is to it, folks. Stephanie White has changed her mind about Caitlin Clark. It only took a blink of an eye to go from doubter to giant fan. What do you know? It's making things different for the Fever.